I'm a firm believer that everything has a beginning and an end. Everything does. And that's the same for relationships. They have the beginning and they have their end in one way or another. Okay? And specifically now I want to talk about relationships that end, the breakup. Not that I'm saying breakups are inevitable. They're not. But being in a relationship that ends can be one of the hardest things you'll go through, especially emotionally and mentally. It's horrible. It's tough, and it can be tough for both people. And relationships, they can end for multiple reasons. It can be because you both decide that this just isn't working anymore. Maybe you've been together for a long time and you've grown apart. Some relationships end because things have happened that shouldn't. Some relationships end because one person wants it to end, or maybe they want to be with someone else. Maybe it's a personal attack on you. There are so many reasons why relationships end. You might be the one that's decided that the relationship you're in is no longer what's best for you. It's no longer healthy for you. You want to be on your own. Maybe there is someone else you want to be with. But it's still hard for everyone involved. And breaking up it's okay. It's okay to break up. But it is hard. I've had relationships that have ended. I've had some that have ended because it's what I wanted, and I've had some that's ended because it's what they wanted for various reasons. And it's heartache is horrible. I don't even have the right words to describe how horrible breaking up is. It can be horrible, but you do get through it. You will heal from a breakup. It just takes time. And it may take longer than you think, or longer than you expect, but you will heal from it. If there's anyone out there that's going through a breakup or recently had a breakup, and you may be sitting there thinking, how am I ever going to be okay? How am I going to get over this? I can promise you, you just will. Time heals everything, and you just will get through it. And there was a time when I needed to hear that. And I guess that's why I'm making this video, because, I'm okay now. I'm in a really good place. I'm in a really good relationship. But I had to go through some bad ones to get to where I am now. So I've experienced heartache. I know exactly what that feels like. I know what it's like to be in a breakup, or to go through a breakup. I know what it's like to be the one that ends that relationship. And it's hard either way around, because you could really still care about that person and decide, actually, do you know what? I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And you're the one that has to do the breaking up. And that's hard. That's hard on you to do that, because you have to watch that person's heartbreak. You have to do the heartbreaking, and that's hard. And not a lot of people talk about that side of relationships, I think. It's always like there's a good guy and there's a good one and a bad one out of it. Good cop, bad cop, and it's not. It's hard on anyone that's involved in a breakup, and it's tough. And it can be tough on the friends and the families of those that are around for those people as well, to watch that happen. But, breakups aren't always a bad thing. They can be a good thing, because you can move on from that breakup, and you may end up being with someone else later. It could be that you actually end up not being with anyone, and actually you're okay just being you, and you're a better person for it. There are so many outcomes of a breakup that are a positive thing. And again, that's kind of the message I wanted to get across with this is, when I've been through, if I think now of the breakup that I would say is the worst I've been through, and I had to go through hell. My mental health was affected. I was lonely. I didn't know how to live my life without that person, because for such a long time all I knew was living my life with that person. But I did heal, and I did get better, and I did move on when the time was right. And you can't rush moving on. You have to be ready. I think sometimes we can all be desperate to be with someone, even if maybe we're not ready to be with someone. So you do have to take your time and allow yourself to heal. You have to give yourself time to mend after a breakup. But it's also the case that when you do enter a new relationship, you know, like, you could now have those trust issues because of a breakup that you've been through. You know, you've been hurt, and you're automatically going to want to defend yourself from being hurt like that again. And some people actually refuse to go into a relationship, a new one, because they've been through a breakup, and they like, I'm never letting that happen to me again. It was just getting dark, so I had to turn the lights on. I think the sun's going down already. It's like 6 p.m. Let's order some stuff. And do you know what? I get that. And entering into a new relationship is also... it's scary. Because you don't really know that person when you're entering a new relationship. You know, there's the honeymoon phase, isn't there? Where you're both making more effort than, say, you normally would, because you want that person to like you. I just realised that person needs help. I don't know how long it's been stood there. Really, one thing. So yeah, they say it takes a year to really get to know someone. I don't necessarily think the honeymoon phase lasts a whole year, but they say it takes a year to really know someone, for someone's true colours to show, for you to know who they really are, away from who they want you to think they are, you know? And maybe when you get to that stage where you see someone's true colours of how they really are, maybe it's at that point you decide, I don't think this relationship's for me. And you can't be afraid to end that relationship. You can't stay in a relationship because you fear the breakup, or you're scared to be on your own. I think there's a lot of people out there that will be in a relationship and they'll stay in that relationship even if it's not right for them, because they'd rather be in a wrong relationship than be on their own. And maybe that's a whole different subject that I could talk about in another video, is staying in a relationship rather than choosing to be alone, you know. And actually there's nothing wrong with being by yourself. It can be a good thing. But yeah, it's going through a breakup is a really hard thing. It's a really hard thing, but it is completely okay to go through a breakup, and you will be okay going through that breakup. You'll be fine. I can't order anything now because it's 9 o'clock, and I need some more lights. That is well dark in that corner. Let's get these last few customers out. I have done a lot of upgrading. I haven't played this too much, this game, but I like it. It's kind of chill. I hop on every so often. I've expanded it a bit. She wanted Bleach. So yeah, if you haven't played this game, I do recommend it. It's a good game. Just wait for this lady to do her shopping. But yeah, breakups they're a pain. But I think you have to go through breakups to grow as a person. I think it's just a part of life's journey. Like, I think it's extremely rare to think of someone that maybe is young and entering in their first relationship, and this is it. He's the love of my life. This is she's the love of my life. This is the person I'm going to be with forever. When realistically, probably not. I'm not saying it's impossible, but probably not. But yeah, I guess I'm saying, don't be scared. Like, if you're not happy in the relationship that you're in, if there's something missing in that relationship for you, don't be afraid to have that conversation. And just the same as if a relationship is unhealthy for you, don't be afraid to walk away from it. You have to do what's right for you. You must always put yourself first. And I know when I'm saying this, you know, it can be a lot more complicated than that. You know, there could be family, children involved. There can be so much stuff involved in a breakup. A breakup, the dirt hidden. How do you get dirt behind there? There could be children involved, you know. There's lots of other stuff. And it's not just children even, like money, property, businesses. You know, you could have a business together. There's so much other stuff that's affected from a breakup. And all of that stuff can scare you and make you stay in a relationship that actually maybe you shouldn't be in anymore. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? Like, I do understand why people will stay in a relationship that maybe they shouldn't be in. I've totally forgotten where that goes. But yeah, I've been in that situation, and I've seen friends of mine in that situation where they're in a relationship and they've got children together, and from the outside looking in, you know, you can see that that's not a healthy relationship for them, and you're like, why are you still committing to this relationship? And they're like, well, because we've got kids, you know, and again, that's a whole nother subject, isn't it? It's staying together for the wrong reasons. Do you think it's healthy for the children to watch you both hating on each other because you shouldn't be together? You know, I grew up, that's my life. I grew up with a mum and dad that didn't love each other. I grew up in a home where I never saw my mum and dad show affection to each other. They sat on opposite sofas. And to me, that was normal. So when I saw friends of mine had parents that were holding hands or what, that was weird. I remember thinking, that's weird. Why are your parents doing that? So I look back now and I wish that my parents, I know it sounds bad, but I wish they hadn't broken up when they should have. I think me and my siblings would have had a better life and had a better idea of what relationships actually are and how they actually work. Because you learn all that from being young and watching relationships, don't you? I really need to get that storage room. Absolutely, I need to get that storage room. I'm trying my best to clean this place up. So yeah, I think I didn't want this to be a super long video, and I know this is tough for some people that may be watching this, that may be going through a breakup, or they're thinking about it, or they've had it happen, you know, they've had it happen to them, or they're the ones that are thinking of doing the breaking up. Just do what's right for you. Do what you think is best for you, and you won't go far wrong. But just don't be afraid to break up if it's the right thing to do. I guess that's what I'm saying. And if there's any advice I can give, is if there's, you know, I know I've touched on a couple of other subjects in this now. If there's other things you'd like me to talk about or hear my thoughts on, leave me a comment. But I guess I'm just saying, be okay. I hope that you're okay, and you will be fine. You will be good. You'll get through it. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to get these shelves restocked, and yeah, I will catch you in another video.